Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Rich Leimsider. I'm the director of the AI for Nonprofits Sprint at the Fund for the City of New York. And today we have the privilege of having a conversation about rolling out an AI policy, or at least a set of AI use guidelines at your nonprofit. The AI Sprint gets to work with more than 100 nonprofits and 50,000 of their staff to bring basic AI literacy to everyday nonprofit workers. And building this opportunity to reach AI literacy works best. In fact, in our opinion, it really only works in the context of clear guidance from management about how AI can and cannot be used in the organization. From our perspective, we know that developing an AI policy can be hard. The vast majority of nonprofits that we work with and connect to do not have an AI use policy in their organization, even though our surveys of their staff show that always more than 50% of staff are already experimenting with AI, using AI to try to get work done. And sometimes those numbers are even higher. And so we believe very strongly that helping staff understand what is and isn't okay with AI is not a nice to have. It's not something that can be rolled out over 3, 6, or 12 months. Staff need these guidelines now. Organizations need them to develop safety and security and feel comfortable about the work that's happening. But organizations can also benefit from having a clear set of guidelines and rules so that the staff that are already doing wonderful things with AI feel comfortable actually sharing it with their colleagues. They don't feel like they have to keep it a secret from partners, from supervisors, and others. We know that lots of nonprofit organizations do need to take time to roll out formal policies. Many of our partners at the AI Sprint are in highly regulated environments, maybe working with vulnerable populations, foster kids, et cetera. And so it may, in fact, take months to develop the AI use policy that conforms to contracts that the general counsel has reviewed, maybe that the board or other folks take a look at. In those situations, we strongly urge organizations to roll out a set of placeholder guidelines, to email all staff, to reach out to all staff and say, look, it's going to take us a little while to have a policy, but AI is out here in the world. We are interacting with it every day. Some staff may be using tools on their own. They may have ChatGPT on their phone. Other folks may simply be getting AI summaries of search results when they go to Google. So AI is in front of us all the time, and we want to make sure people have those guidelines. Today, we're going to share our recommended placeholder guidelines and talk through what those elements might be. For some of our partner organizations, they've simply turned around and sent these very guidelines with minor edits out to their staff. For other folks, this can be the beginning of what your own guidelines, what might make most sense for you. But again, in all situations, we encourage you to have a set of policies and guidelines that go to your team in a matter of days, not a matter of months. So let me share our guidelines and talk it through. What should placeholder AI guidelines have? First of all, I think we like to see an environment where learning, and that means AI use and experimentation within the framework of what is proper and appropriate, is encouraged. Many of our organizations, maybe most of our organizations, talk about having a learning orientation. What does it mean to have staff that are excited to bring on new skills and tools? And AI is simply one of those, right? There's a whole range of what's possible with artificial intelligence. Some of it is just about, doing basic day-to-day elements of the work a little bit more easily. Let's let our staff know that learning how to do things better is always encouraged. But in the short term, let's take confidential, private, sensitive information off the table. Until we have a clear policy, until an IT team has looked at the tools that are in front of us, until we're sure we can distinguish between safe and secure software tools. Many of us have all kinds of confidential information that we put in the Google Cloud or on Microsoft SharePoint, right? We've gotten to the point where we do put sensitive information on cloud computers because we have a level of comfort with that. Until we have that level of comfort, let's just say no PII, no personally identifiable information goes into any AI tool ever, period. Let's remind our colleagues that AI is a fake person. When you work with any person, fake person, real person, who's helping you with a project, you are still responsible for the quality of that work before you turn it over to somebody else. When you have a consultant helping you write a grant proposal, when you are working with an intern to develop something new in HR or for programs, you don't get to hand that off to your boss without having read it and double checked it yourself. The same thing is true with AI. If AI spits out a memo, a meeting agenda, you have to review it. We are all still responsible for the quality of AI supported work. And we should remind folks that any of the other policies that we've fought long and hard to develop and roll out are still relevant and applicable. And so many of us do, in fact, have quite thorough data privacy and other sorts of rules, policies in place. Let's make sure we point people to those existing policies. Now, when it comes to doing work with AI internally, because we are such fans of that learning orientation, we advocate near total transparency. We would like staff to really have insight to when each other are using AI. If you did use AI to create a meeting agenda or a workshop series or come up with the names of what the holiday party games might be, tell your colleagues. Be really clear about that because that helps us learn what is and isn't possible with AI. On the other hand, as management, we need to make sure that when work gets done at the quality we needed, but got done faster or better because of AI, we need to praise that and not give it side eye or skepticism because somehow somebody cheated. If somebody gets more done in a day because they were using a new tool, that is something to be celebrated. Right? We don't celebrate people who use an abacus to do their math work or refuse to use computers or spreadsheets or telephones simply because they wanted to do it slower in the old-fashioned way. We celebrate and expect them to learn how to use new tools to get things done better and sometimes faster. Externally can be a little different. We are still in an environment where some people, some organizations are fundamentally skeptical, concerned about the use of AI, and we do need to respect that. And so even when internal guidelines have made sure that work supported by AI is safe, is accurate, there might be some external partners who are concerned or even opposed. There might be a funder that simply doesn't want AI supported grant proposals to come through. And if they've made that clear, we need to honor those requests. So we should tell our colleagues that if they are ever in a situation where they believe they could do a great job using AI, but they're not sure if the external partner would be okay with that, those colleagues need to have a conversation with a supervisor and figure out how to apply the best judgment in those cases. That's it. We find that those 6 principles are a great basis for a beginning conversation about what is and isn't possible when using AI, working with our colleagues, identifying best practices from things that we shouldn't get done. And then if we can roll those out tomorrow, maybe you could send that out in an all-staff email tomorrow. That we will all be in a better place to avoid some of the things that can be most concerning about using AI, but also to celebrate and encourage this free research and development that I promise you, some of your staff are already doing great, terrific things using artificial intelligence at your organization. And let's help get them comfortable sharing those lessons with the rest of us. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining this mini training from the AI for Nonprofits Sprint. If you are a member already of our sprint, feel free to reach out to your point of contact directly. And we're also happy to share examples of other policies that peer organizations are already implementing. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.